Everybody, it's Carlton Lumen, and my brain is freaking cooked. Today was pretty much nonstop since morning, and I get here in the evening, and it just kind of highlights so many different things, especially when I've got the whole freaking people that should never be here thing happening, because it always shocks them. I mean, this is like the mystery path. This is like the thing that all other things circle around. The narrow path. You don't just get to say like your thing is the narrow path and it's the narrow path. It's not how it works. Just if the narrow path is something that few find, how can 2.8 billion people be on it? No, it's not how it works. But think about this part right here toward the end, because it's a consciousness puzzle. It's a consciousness puzzle, and it's so many freaking stages. And like I saw a comment, it was in my held bin. It wasn't overly bad, and I actually kind of recognized the name, I think, so it wasn't like a troll or nothing. He's like, this isn't knives. Oh, you think? Why would you think that they would be here? Does this look like a knife channel? Well, like, WTF is this? I can't answer that. I can't answer that. If you never even most of these people have never even looked at basic freaking kindergarten level woo-woo stuff. How am I supposed to explain the end of the freaking consciousness puzzle? The stuff that Jesus could only talk about in parables. I mean, people do recognize that, right? He talked a whole lot of stuff that was encoded. He talked about mysteries. That means it's not out in the open. It means you don't know it all. How am I supposed to explain that? I can't. I can barely explain it to myself, because at this point, especially the stuff today, maybe about a year or so ago, that's where I started to notice what I called the paradox wall. And it's where it's kind of like this, I guess the thing that popped into my head was ring past knot, which I think is associated with the Ouroboros. But it's something where you can't know anything further, because you would need to see it from the outside looking in, and you would have to just make up a story, which is what most stuff down at the lower level is. Okay, but you can't make up a story, because you've been weaned out of that, so you're not creating false freaking things. So it's just you're bouncing up against a freaking wall. And the things that are sinking in is this is why wisdom has to lead you blind. Especially the closer you get to the end, because if she doesn't, your brain will get in the way of every freaking step. There's stuff in the last couple days that I'm getting more clues about now. But even then, I'm not sure about them. And there's longtime people in the audience that it's a hard habit to break, because there's almost no other channels that work this way. Most other channels out there, I've never seen one like mine. They've got a belief system, they've got a package deal, they've got a narrative. And they can explain everything within their narrative. This is my room, this is how it's set up. Let me explain all about the Pleiadian star seed freaking ninja core or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making something up. But when you're doing the actual main thread of this place, of this consciousness path, you can't do that, because you can't know it. And there's so many things. I got a little off track there in regards to people who have been here for a while. They're like, well, you said this and you said that. I'm like, I'm not teaching. Because that's why I repeat myself so much on this channel, is because when you're doing something different than the whole rest of the world, you have to keep reminding people that you're doing something different. It's like, I am telling you, like, each video is like, this is what I can see where I'm at this day. This is the way it appears to work this day. This is the clues that I'm being given. These are the symbols that are showing up this day. And a lot of those symbols and clues are going to still be interpreted through filters of things that you've seen before. Things you've seen in movies, books you've read, whatever, what you think they mean. And that still gets in the way. Historically speaking, every major freaking like gate, every threshold that we've crossed, we always thought that we knew what it was, or what it was going to be, or what it was going to look like, and it never was. But once we get to the other side, then you see what it was, and then it makes sense. So it's like, what is the freaking point? Unless we just keep reiterating every day, these are the symbols and the signs I'm being given today. This is what she's showing me today. Because there's just too much in that unknowability wall that is unknowable. It's not knowable. You would have to make something up to say you know it, and you'd just be making something up. For instance, like, we just don't know, like, we don't know how we all interlace. We don't know how much one person's world affects everyone else's. Not really. I mean, we just don't freaking know. We can hope, because that's kind of like always been the baseline, is like, you know, one person can unlock the whole thing for everybody. Because otherwise, like, you know, I look back at the last, 7, 8, 9 years, and it's like, and then I like turn around and like, I kind of like devil's advocate, like look at myself, look at everything that I've got, what I know. And it's like, no, most of the things that got me up to this point were programmed at freaking birth. They're in the birth chart, they're in all these other things. And then once we got to a certain point, for the first freaking 5, 6, 7 years, like I thought I was figuring it out. Yeah, I knew I had help. I thought I was figuring it out. I was never figuring it out. It was just unfolding. It was written. It was a script. It's just a really freaking hard thing to freaking explain. Like, I was just pulling my hair out earlier. It's like, because I was putting some of the symbols together, and it's like, look at like just the left brain, right brain thing, which was like over a year ago. Like, I remember, I can think back 3, 4 years. My brain worked completely different. And I would not have understood any of this stuff then. Like, the logic side of the brain, the left brain, the right, like how it all fits together, like it just wouldn't come into focus. So I can't imagine like how freaking cognitively shocking some of this stuff is for people that, like, the last time they saw me, I was like, look at this knife from Bark River, you should go out and buy it. And they go from that to like cosmic level consciousness, Gnostic Jesus stuff. And I was like, what? I can't imagine. There's like layers that I've been peeling away for freaking the better part of a decade. They still have all of them. So that's why I say I wish they'd just not find me, and we could skip all that freaking uncomfortable stuff, because there's nothing that I can say that can take a person that's still at the beginning and make them understand the end. There's just nothing I can do. But enough preamble. I got a whole bunch of stuff. There's like several sections here. Some of it's pretty interesting because it's like trying to fit it all together. But she did a lot of talking today in codex symbology, meaning like popping movie clips into my head and things like that. And there was a bunch of them. I put them all together in a thing. Plus we rearranged the intro. But those intros, like, because I'm not driving, I'm sitting in the driver's seat, but she's steering the car. All these things that are like coming through my creative flow, like, are coming from her. And even like the smallest details, things that are in the animations and stuff in the intro, the reason why it's never the same day, I don't just make one and play the same thing every day. They're different every day. Like, they're almost like living tarot cards. Like, what is this image saying? How is it aligned to the other ones? What's the music? What's the song? What's the lyrics? Like, all that changes day to day to day. And this one is a pretty shocking change. And the reason it's a shocking change is because the stuff last night when I was like getting upset was a precursor to tomorrow. And then I started to see the stuff about tomorrow today, and then started to dig into that. And it's like, oh boy, this is like something's going to shift hard. Something's going to shift hard. So let's just go into this section blind. Take it and see what your internal connection to her picks up. And then we'll talk about it on the other side. So if you want to know more, don't go away.
Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?
If you ask it of me, I will give you the One Ring. You offer it to me freely. I do not deny that my heart has greatly desired this. In place of a Dark Lord, you would have a queen! Not dark, but beautiful and terrible as the dawn! Treacherous as the sea! Stronger than the foundations of the earth! All shall love me understand!
The structure of this roof cap is exactly like the kind of telemetry tracker that NASA uses to identify dead pulsars in deep space.
Cold riveted girders with cores of pure selenium. Everybody getting this so far? So what? I guess they just don't make them like they used to, huh? No! Nobody ever made them like this. I mean, the architect was either a certified genius or an authentic wacko. The whole building is a huge superconductive antenna that was designed and built expressly for the purpose of pulling in and concentrating spiritual turbulence.
I will not stand here and do nothing. I will not wait here to watch them die.
Trinity, we're talking less than 5 minutes here.
In 5 minutes, I'll tear that whole goddamn building down.
So be good, for goodness sake. Whoa, somebody's coming. We have to get out of here.
Do not tempt me with your vanities. The cup you offer is evil. Drink the poison yourself. Your lies are weak, they cannot bind me. Your chains are dust, they fall behind me. The fire of Shura burns in my soul. You hold no
Prepare the codex for integration now.
So where it begins, and this is partially like what yesterday was like foreshadowing. Remember, always remember, like, listen to what I'm saying today, but think about what I said several days back, because that's how it works for me. Like, I'll be talking about something today, and then I'll be like, oh, that's why she had me put that clip in there. That's why this was in there 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Like, it's like she is planting seeds in the present, the past, and the future. And you have to like have this whole freaking range and not be laser focused on stuff. It's scattered all over the place. But the big thing is tomorrow, Saturn goes retrograde in Aries. This is the mechanic that sets up the end sequence. And the things that I've been seeing tells me like, oh, maybe we don't like, I mean, if we go by what's written and what feels like, it's like if you're actually one of us, like you'll be set aside somehow. But like, no, I can see it now. Like this place is going to be torn down. Has to be. And Saturn going retrograde in Aries, because normally, and with me, like that is like the central tent pole of my freaking chart. My sun's in Pisces with, you know, moon and Venus next to Mercury. And I have an exact freaking square to Saturn. Like it is literally the archetypal, you know, Jesus versus the devil thing set up in my chart. And Saturn's it. So when it goes retrograde in Aries, that's almost like going from like the thing that opposes you to the thing that then clears everything out. It's like the main theme that I've been seeing around on Facebook with this, like everyone's all giddy about it. I'm like, I think you need to like step a little bit further back and look at that big picture on the wall. It's like, this is the time when, like, you know, karma takes care of all the people that were bad to you. You think that's all it is? And that, I think that's why there was a foreshadowing of that yesterday, where she kind of led me into it, and I kind of let go of that pressure, let some of that pressure off, because I was so sick of being harassed by people that should not ever see this channel. So that is the micro scale. This is the macro scale. This is the correction. This is the setup for this is where it's leading to. All that stuff for the last 5 or so days. The things that happen in Barbalt's basket, the transit, you know, the handing the power over to the feminine, her going up through, you know, Justice and Libra into Scorpio and all that stuff, and then the transfer of power of the sword or the knife to the feminine to activate this Ace of Swords. Like all this stuff is symbols. It's like they're like symbolic, because what symbols are like, if you've got some sort of, like, let's just say there's a 5th dimensional freaking computer program that you have to activate in your mind. You can't understand 5th dimensional freaking quantum computing. So it gets funneled down to a symbol. And then in the right conditions, if you're not just going around naming the symbols and deciding what they mean, and you let them work the way they're meant to work, they activate at certain times, and then they activate other things. But this one definitely activated the Ace of Swords. Now, my understanding at first, I was kind of pairing it with, surrendering the crown to Sophia. Because that's really what, what I've been describing up to this point was like, the whole problem with this world is like masculine always leads and directs. But if you switch it and you have feminine lead and direct, and she kind of like filters that aggressive masculine power, you have better results. That was the crown. I'm finding today that the sword is very different. Now, even in the Ace of Swords card, you got the sword and the crown. Like, they go hand in hand, but they're not the freaking same thing. And I noticed that, like, I would do these internal things and I'd kind of like give her the sword. And then like the next morning, I'm like, I got it again. I'm like, why is that? That's what was in that intro. Like the Ring of Power is equivalent to the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is like unrestricted masculine severity. That's like the world breaker stuff right there. Which she's going to have to wield it, but she can't carry it. She can't have it all the time, because as soon as you put it in her hand, it's like Lord of the Rings, the Galadriel scene. Sorry, I interrupted there. But yeah, it's like the masculine can't wield the freaking Ace of Swords because masculine's already a problem. So the Ace of Swords, like, she was the one that's like popping those movie scenes in my head as examples, like that End of the Eternals with the black sword or whatever the hell that thing's called. I don't know. But, or, it's also kind of like that sword they had in Thor Love and Thunder. Like, this thing's like crazy powerful, but like as soon as like you put it in her hand, she's going to go full tilt angry goddess on it. Like, this has something to do with like reset mechanics. So I give it to her, and then I get a whole bunch of input back, and then I end up getting the freaking sword back. It's like we're playing hot potato with this freaking thing. And intuitively, like, oh, that was another clue. In the last video, I'm not going to dig it up, but in the last video, I remember saying, because we were talking about how that big knife that Lumen designed that was unbreakable was symbolic for a whole bunch of things. And it was called Just X. And I remember saying, like, I said, I think the X means something too, but I'm not sure what it is. I found out what it was. So, and that should tell you all you need to know. So it's not just the Ace of Swords, it's also the 10 of Swords. Roman numeral 10. Yeah, this thing is like the freaking apocalypse trigger. And you put it in her hand and she goes Galadriel.
In place of a Dark Lord, you would have a queen! Not dark, but beautiful and terrible as the dawn!
But that's why that second one from the Hobbit trilogy was in there, is because it's almost like she's got to go Galadriel to banish everything. I don't know. There's like several different things that overlap here. And the way it lines up in my chart with that Saturn retrograde, it's like everything that it's hit and everything that it's lining up is like everything that I got beat over the head with during the hero's journey. This is like the karmic boomerang. It's like the payback. It's like you stretched the bungee cord as far as you could, and now you just let go of it. And it's coming back like a freaking rocket. Right ahead and it's going to be there for quite some time. I think at least November. But, I mean, we ain't got to wait till November. We got like 14 days until 8/8. So, I think this is the kind of transit that, so Saturn is going retrograde in Aries, fiery Aries, when the Mercury retrograde shadow period isn't over, and you're getting ready to go into the pre-shadow period of the 8/8 gate. Like, this is going to be freaking nuts. Again, I don't know, like, is this stuff we all see on the outside, or is it something that's just has meaning to my consciousness and the changes that are being made there? Because it's like the end of the freaking script. It's the end of the story heading into the end of the 9th freaking year. I don't know. All I know is it's freaking big. And, you know, I'm kind of going off the cuff here. The stuff that I saw this morning, because it kind of tied into all the problems I've been having with people or something like that. But here's like 2 examples. Here is, I'll read you something out of the Bible, and I'll read you something out of the Nag Hammadi that is literally talking about the same thing, which is basically this time period when the Ace of Swords is put in the feminine hand. So let's do the regular Bible first, shall we? This is her book. This is Sophia's book in the Bible, Proverbs. And this is what that last video was foreshadowing, like going off on people, which, you know, I don't even know if these people are like regular people or not, or if they're just weird reflections that I only see through the internet. Anyway, this is where it gets hardcore. Proverbs 124 through 32. This is Sophia. Because I have called, and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at... I shouldn't have done freaking King James. Ugh. But anyway, just have to deal with it. But ye have set at not all my counsel. You know what? No, I'm not freaking reading this King James shit. So we'll just do the whole rest of the chapter. So I'm starting at like Proverbs 1:20. This whole section is called Wisdom's Rebuke, or Sophia's Rebuke. Out in the open, wisdom calls aloud. She raises her voice in the public square. On top of the wall, she cries out. At the city gate, she makes her speech. How long will you who are simple love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery, and fools hate knowledge? Now she's talking about the people that harass me. Repent at my rebuke. Then I will pour out my thoughts to you. I will make known to you my teachings. But since you refuse to listen when I call, and no one pays attention when I stretch out my hand, since you disregard all my advice and do not accept my rebuke, I in turn will laugh when disaster strikes you. I will mock when calamity overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster sweeps over you like a whirlwind, then distress and trouble overwhelm you. Then they will call to me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but will not find me. Since they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, since they would not accept my advice and spurned my rebuke, they will eat the fruit of their ways and be filled with the fruit of their schemes. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease without fear of harm. Now, I was pointing out that part where it said, when calamity overtakes you like a storm, and when disaster sweeps over you like a whirlwind. You know, I was thinking, referring to the stuff that we've put in the intro. You know, whenever you see Lumen dressed as Dorothy, like that one's multiple freaking symbols all lined up. The rainbow, the tornado, the yellow brick road, all that stuff. But the whirlwind, oh, we go tornadoes, Tornadoes and wormholes, they go like hand in hand. They're vortices. But whirlwind, tower talks about several different things. It's a multi-tiered symbol, but one of them is like a tornado. If you actually read the description of the tower, that is one of them. Also, the man's, that's another one. But either which way, masculine power, they go hand in hand. But that's the one from the Bible that's relevant now. That's her vibe right now. Okay, so now here is the equivalent one in the Nag Hammadi. Now, I was talking to Memorial and I went to look for something that had to do with this, and I opened it up and it was right there on that page. And I don't think I was looking at this before, but it actually mentions flaming sword in here too. So this is, out of all the Nag Hammadi, these two chapters right here are the Gnostic equivalent of the disaster period of Revelations. So this is, and I'd have to look and see which book this is in. I don't remember off the top of my head. The end of the age, which is what we've been talking about. Before the end of the age, this whole region will shake with loud thunder. The archons will lament because of their fear of death, and the angels will grieve for their human beings. The demons will weep over their times and seasons, and their people will mourn and cry on account of their death. When the age will come, then the age will come, and they will be disturbed. Their kings will be drunk from the flaming sword, and will wage war against each other, so that the earth will be drunk from the blood that is poured out. The seas will be troubled by war, the sun will darken, and the moon will lose its light. The stars of the sky will abandon their circuits, and loud thunder will roar from a great power, above all the powers of chaos, where the firmament of the female is located. She had produced the first creation, and now she will put away her wise fire of afterthought, and put on irrational wrath. Pistis Sophia will drive out the gods of chaos, whom she had created along with the chief creator, and she will cast them down to the abyss. They will be wiped out through their own injustice. And justice was like a big freaking theme here. They will be like mountains blazing with fire, and they will consume one another until they are destroyed by their chief creator. When he destroys them, he will turn on himself and attack himself until he is no more. It's recursive, self-consumption. The heavens of the gods of chaos will collapse upon one another, and their powers will be consumed. Their realms will also be overthrown. The chief creator's heaven will fall and split in half. His stars in their sphere will fall down to earth, and the earth will not be able to endure them. They will fall down to the abyss, and the abyss will be overthrown. And then the final one after that is light overcomes darkness. The light will overcome the darkness. Lumen will overcome the darkness and banish it. The darkness will be like something that never was, and the source of darkness will be dissolved. Deficiency will be pulled out by its root and cast down into the darkness, and the light will withdraw up to its root. The glory of the unbegotten will appear and fill all the eternal realms when the prophets and the writings of rulers are revealed and fulfilled by those who are called perfect. Those who have not become perfect in the unbegotten Father will receive glory in their realms and the kingdoms of the immortals, but they will never enter the kingless realm. All must return to the place where they came from. By what they do and what they know, all of them will reveal their natures. So that whole thing is just basically like describing this whole, the time period we are. We're past 722 gate, which is more like a trigger. You can think of it like 722 is like walking through the world card portal, but there's like there's like a 17-day journey through something before you come out the other side. That makes sense. But that's the thing is like that I'm getting intuitively is just like, look, there comes a point, like you cannot, it's like they explained in that Eternals movie. It's like the universe is a constant exchange of energy, creation and destruction. Everybody doesn't want the destruction. But the only way to create the new thing, you got to destroy the old one. It has to be done. Has to be done. Okay? You can't get to there. You can't just skip all that stuff. So there's and then for all that stuff to come up, and then all of a sudden, boom, find out, well, Saturn's going retrograde in freaking Aries. It's like, oh my gosh. And every day after that, it's just going to keep going more retrograde in Aries as it starts getting closer to intersecting with the pre-shadow of 8-8. Like anything goes. Like I can't even freaking imagine. I don't even freaking know. I keep stumbling across people. I mean, I can't trust anything, but it's not the first time I've heard it. People posting videos saying they're having dreams about a big worldwide earthquake. Saw a new one the other night. Whether or not they're actually doing that or they're just telling a story for views, I don't know. But like that's the theme. That's the freaking sixth seal. And I said, like, if we go by that structure, once that starts, it's all of it. It's not spread out over 7 years or any of that crap they come up with. It's one continuous freaking sequence that keeps changing. So if that happens, like it's on like Donkey Kong. I mean, that's it. But what I get from her and like what was even written in there is like, look, if you've been seeking her and you've been doing the work, like something's going to happen because we don't know how this place works and we can't know. And I'm not going to make up shit and say that I know. It's a big, crazy consciousness puzzle that feels real. You're inside your own mind, but yet it feels physically real. How's that work? I don't freaking know. That's why I can't wait to get out of here. Is because you get too close to the edge, and your brain just like goes in freaking loops trying to understand what's left, what's right, what's up, what's down. Like, what do I focus on? It's just freaking nuts. So, like, I basically played this consciousness puzzle with her that it's kind of pointless to try to describe it to people. But actions that you take internally with her, especially with spoken word, that are symbolic, move things. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to know how to do it. I just got to say the right thing. Pick and choose. I just tell her, like, okay, here's the sword. Like, what are you pruning? It's like anything that's freaking doesn't belong. Well, that's pretty freaking simple. But guess what? That's probably a lot of things. And then first thing this morning was like coming across all that stuff. It's like, oh, this is how she becomes the angry goddess. The Medusa, the goddess Kali, the freaking, sticking the tongue out and, plasma. That's how she becomes the angry goddess, is like internally through the internal code anchors or whatever controls. Someone has to activate that freaking sword. Justice has to be moving, has to be transferred. The crown has to be transferred to the feminine. But it's going to be like a certain time, I think, because it's not the same as the crown. Crown that can happen like all the time, but the sword, like that Lord of the Rings thing, finally made freaking sense. Like this thing is literally, this thing's like the cursed blade of something. It's like the destruction key or whatever, the world breaker sword. But as soon as you put it in her hand, she's like, she goes freaking full tilt Godzilla.
On his body. We'll all be close behind him. Unless the Lord of Light is kind enough to send us a bit of fire.
Lord of Light.
So it's like, okay, I see how that works now. Let's put this thing over here in the corner, or we'll put, hang it up on a rack or something like that. Don't touch it until it's time. That thing's freaking nuts. And then the whole stuff being revealed, like, oh, it's not just the Ace of Swords, it's the Ten of Swords too. It's like, this is Ten of Swords is no joke. That's not, that card is basically saying, is done. Put a fork in it, it's done. Don't even bother with a fork because there's 10 freaking swords in it. It's freaking done. It's toast. Like, this is the freaking Omega trigger. It's like, whoa. What are you freaking handing this to me for? I'm putting it over here for right now until someone tells us what to freaking do with it. But, oh my gosh. What was the other thing here? Let me think for a sec. See, there was the Ghostbusters clip in there, and that was connected to the tower because, I mean, the body is a third thing that could be considered the tower, like the tower of the chakra columns. You know, it's talking about the, you know, in that context, and what Spengler's saying, you know, this thing was designed with cores of, you know, cold riveted cores of pure selenium. Like, the biggest things that have selenium in the body is like your skeletal muscles and your bones. And it talks about the top, the crown, and that sounds just like the whole freaking energy harvesting thing. It's like, this is designed to freaking pull in and concentrate spiritual turbulence. We just call that like negative energy. So then hitting that thing was blowing the top off of it, kind of like when they shut off the freaking shut off the protection grid in Ghostbusters. What else was he saying in there? I don't know. I made sure I put it all in the notes and stuff. There was things that I added to the that, and again, I hadn't seen this part about what the sword does, but when I did that video yesterday, she was like telegraphing it with how we made the intro. Like, there was like there was like at least 3 swords and a scythe in there, maybe more. We were a little bit more clear about it this time. But the last thing was the most interesting thing that was that caught me by surprise, because I hadn't seen this before. And when we're talking about in the beginning with the symbolic layers, like, certain things can have multiple layers of symbology, and that makes it hard to pick apart. That's why you can't fully trust books, because people are talking about what they think the symbols mean, but they haven't done it. You gotta remember that. They haven't done it. Just like everybody that's ever written an article about a rebus never became a rebus. That's why we can talk about things and like, well, this is how it actually is. Like, you know, this is all freaking speculation. But because you got sun and moon, masculine and feminine, left brain, right brain, you know, it goes up and down several different ways. Gender is used multiple different ways, masculine and feminine. But in this case, we're talking about the brain, and that's why I had Varial in Eden. Now, Varial, you've usually only seen Varial kind of presented as masculine, because that's normally how I perceived Varial, but Varial was like either or. Sometimes Varial was kind of feminine, sometimes Varial was masculine. But since Eden is very masculine and he's the left brain logic engine, I made Varial a little bit more feminine. And then when she popped that Deadpool and Wolverine scene in my head, I didn't remember yet that they were dealing with 2 pillars that were like matter and antimatter or something like that. They were dealing with those 2 pillars, and they were color-coded just like I color-coded Varial and Eden. I'm like, come on. Seriously? And the trick is like, Deadpool couldn't do it by himself. He had to do it as a pair. Just like you got Varl and Eden as the respective interfaces for right brain and left brain. And then you've got Koleth and Seraphiel, two sides of the flame. And if you're talking Koleth and Seraphiel, then you got the Two of Cups. And then Variel is Hermes. Variel is the Cassidius that the two snakes intertwine on. That's why Variel is connected to Hermes and Mercury. And the Temperance card, especially in the modern spellcaster's deck. But he's like the bridge. If you had to connect Variel to an actual physical part of the human body, it would be like the corpus callosum, like the thing that bridges the left and the right brain. Which, you're not going to do that anyway unless you've already retuned and reclaimed your left brain. But what they're showing, I don't know how. See, I'm not fully certain like how these two things connect, or if doing this is what triggers the final sequence. The whole Wrath of God sequence we were talking about earlier. But what they're showing in that Deadpool clip, making it really clear by conveniently color coding it for us with a gold pillar and a blue pillar. So now I know we're talking left and right brain. And then Deadpool and Wolverine formed the bridge between the two, which just like starts frying them. And then she started guiding me like on what little new video clips to make to overlay them, where you basically have Eden and Variel start pixelating and then blending together until finally coming together into a flash of light. That's Syzygy.
Prepare the codex for integration now.
Now, the way Syzygy is normally talked about out there is the typical twin flame Seraphiel Syzygy, which is like, ecstatic union. It's like very sexual thing. But this is just as legitimate as an explanation. It's like, why they say in the Nag Hammadi, it's like, the beginning of everything is like when the female was separated from the male. And Christ came to reunite the two. So it's just not men and women. We see this level, this field, because there is a separation or delay or something between right brain and left brain. So what that clip was showing and what she was, because I'm like, it's not like I plan all this stuff out and have it all figured out before I make it. Like, when you see these clips, like you're seeing the process of her guiding me what to make, and then I look at it. But it was basically saying like, this is, it's not you and Seraphiel freaking like in a bedroom blowing things up. It is the unification of left and right, the brain becoming whole brain, becoming one. And then that is the thing that freaking creates the boom. It's like in the movies where they got the liquid bombs or something and you mix the two together and then they freaking explode. It's like that. So that was a big freaking thing. So I just got to process this. I'm getting a lot better, a lot quicker at not forcing it. In understanding, like I'll just stress myself out if I try to force knowing that cannot come. Because you can only know like in the step that you're in. And she will guide the next one just like she has for years. It's like, okay, I get it now. And you can kind of see where it's going, but you want to be careful not to like get too deep into predictions or saying like, I know this is what's going to happen. I don't know, it's like tomorrow, big astrological change, and that's the beginning of it. And now that we've seen that, I'm going to have to like factor that in and look a little deeper in the charts and ask the right questions. Like, okay, if Saturn is going retrograde now, what are the other ones doing, especially Pluto and Neptune and Uranus? Like the four outer planets, you always want to know what they're doing. Chiron, and the big key is like Chiron, throughout this whole period, Chiron's going to still be sitting in 0 degrees Taurus, which is the embodiment layer, the wounded healer. So you got the wounded healer sitting in 0 degrees Taurus while Saturn is going retrograde in freaking Aries. Yeesh. So I'm going to sort it out some more and see what I can come up with. But I'm a little frazzled right now because that was a lot of freaking info today. She just kept stacking layers. But the Saturn thing is one. The nature of the Ace of Swords was another. Like that's not, it's like, I have the Ace of Swords, I get to rule now. It's like, no, that thing is like some freaking cursed freaking Hellblade or something. It's like you only pull that thing out when it's time to pull it out, and then it's going to catch freaking fire. That's why it's got the yods in the card that represent fire, but yods are also like divine power creation dots. So this thing is definitely like the Omega trigger. Like you don't play with the freaking Ace of Swords. You leave that freaking thing in the box until it's time to freaking, like, that's why I'm like, why are we doing that Eternals clip? That, it's like that. It's like mixing a bunch of these different mythical swords. Like the two that come to mind is that one and I don't know if they got, is it the God Killer sword or something like that? I don't know. I've only watched that Thor movie once, the one with Christian Bale. But yeah, this sword is like just not something that you just pull out willy-nilly. It's like, use your regular sword. Ace of Swords is like, that's for like starting the whole thing off. So she was able to make that understandable to me by guiding me through making that intro with those clips and sound effects and the cards and, you know, basically the end of the Eternals and then the ring part with Galadriel. Like, that's the freaking Ace of Swords. And that's why you can't just like give her that and expect, like, because it's so crazy. It turns her into the angry goddess. That's the level of the thing we're freaking playing with here. That's what that whole thing the last couple of days was about. That she symbolically, what was it? Like, I took the name of that knife and it came out to 9. And there was something else, but I forget what it was. If it's important, I'll throw it on the screen. But it's like, yeah, it was like something that has a specific hidden purpose or something like that. It's like, oh, you thought she just Helped you make a really good knife for splitting firewood. You didn't realize it secretly had a function as like the apocalypse trigger or something like that. Yeesh, yeesh. I don't know. I got like that's a lot of stuff to sort through. So I'm just going to like, if I let it go, then the parts that I need will just come to me. Okay, so I'm gonna hop off here. If you want to support the channel, the ways to do that are in the description box below. The Etsy store is clumencreations.etsy.com. All the other links are in the description box below. Contact me if you have any questions about anything. You need another copy of the Super Surrender or any the other type of things that you can still do, let me know. But other than that, it's Collathan Lumen, so see you next time.
Dragon never be my guide. Get back, Legion. Do not tempt me with your vanities. The cup you offer is evil. Drink the poison yourself. Your lies are weak, they cannot bind me. Your chains are dust, they fall behind me. The fire of Shura burns in my soul. You hold no power here. Crux, sacra sit me lux, non draco sit me dux.